Welcome back to Net 6 and Chill. Today on our panel, we have the same guys as always. Hassan, please enlighten us with your kit. Which variation of the Barca kit do you have on this time?
This is an iconic kid from Messi's latter years where he didn't really win anything.
Fuck Barca. No one likes him.
Boo! CR7's better.
Well, I got a bone to pick with somebody that wears number 10 for Barca.
Barca
We'll get to that. Alex, your kit looks much better than whatever lifeguard kit Hassan has on.
Yeah, honestly, fuck those Barca kids, man. No one likes them. I got a Power kit today. The Greek, they were champions at one point. Got all the proper, disarm. Got the Europa Conference League badging. I think this season they were actually in Europa League, not Conference League, but I think it's like 2 years ago.
Did you get the badges from China?
Got it directly from the PAOK store in Greece. Paid all the shipping duties that you pay when you're international shipping. That was before Trump was even running for election, man. That was a long time ago. But no, yeah, I mean, I love to support the clubs whenever I can. So I don't buy shirts from like random Chinese guys. I actually go to the club and buy from them directly.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah, you, Edgar. Why don't you tell us about your beautiful yellow kit?
Oh, well, Hassan complains that I always wear red kits, so I decided to spice it up and bring a yellow kit. This is a retro remake of the Leicester kit directly from the Leicester store. So probably our favorite place in in England to watch games.
I like that sponsor, Walkers. I think that's the same thing as Lay's.
Yeah, crisps. Bro, it's crisps.
Yeah, crisps. That's chips.
Yeah, I think it's the British version of Lay's now.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, they have their own names.
Isn't the packaging like super similar? Just literally take out Lay's, put in Walters.
Yeah.
To be fair, Leicester's probably the only place I'll go back to in the UK. I don't care about the rest
Oh,
of
yeah. What was wrong with Middlesbrough?
The team plays in like third division.
I mean, Leicester's. Speaking of it, the other reason I wanted to wear the kit, and just a small mention. Jamie. Wait, I think we mentioned last week. No, Jamie Vardy.
He's retiring.
So I'm trying to support, bring out the.
What are you clapping? I was like, I didn't see your hands.
Well, he's not. Well, technically not retiring. He's leaving Leicester.
They gave him like a lifetime supply of Red Bull and vodka as retirement.
Well, honestly, speaking of Vardy, I heard that he might go to Wrexham. Now they got promoted to the Championship. There's rumors of Vardy going to Wrexham. Which imagine if he brings Wrexham up to the Prem.
Yo, it's funny if he brings Wrexham, but Leicester stays down. That would be.
What, they getting relegated?
Leicester, yeah, dude. Leicester's getting relegated. I think Leicester's already relegated mathematically.
Hassan might need some of that Red Bull vodka because he's out of touch.
That's true.
I'm all over the place today.
No,
wow, time to start getting into place.
What are the odds of Wrexham going back to back to back to back?
I mean, they do have the money and the financial support. They just got to pick up some championship level players because Chris Mullen. Those
Mullen hasn't played for them in a while, I think.
Their winger James McLean used to play in the Prem too. The guy was like a West Brom player for a while, from what I remember.
Championship, those teams are wild.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, no fucking shit, but I mean, I think they've grown a lot. They have a lot of sponsorship deals. They attract a lot of investors, so I don't see why they can't build a squad.
I don't think they could go back like all this. It's gonna take them a few years, but I think their first goal is
I think Championship is gonna be a different step.
It's like they gotta their goal should be to stay in the Championship, not get relegated back to.
Well, I agree with you guys.
If they can like. Because think about it, the Championship, it's not just getting the top 3 places. As long as you get into the playoff spots, you have a chance. So I think if they aim for the playoff spots, they could make it work. Because honestly, there's some Championship teams that suck.
Yeah, because they just want to stay there.
Yeah, they're playing the proper Brexit 4-4-2.
Yeah, I mean, but what's funny? We've talked about this before, where like everyone says when you get to the Championship, you want to consolidate there, build, and then figure it out. Honestly, why not go for it? What the fuck? Like,
you're gonna go for it? You're gonna get relegated the next year.
If you're playing football, play football. What is this whole like? We gotta slow it down. We gotta take our time. Fucking go for it, man.
They gotta be realistic.
get excited, man. Go for it. What's
They're
the point of all
excited.
the investment? Go for it.
Yeah, honestly,
I mean-
why not? Yeah, they can, you know how much documentaries they can make.
No, they're already
Exactly.
making it.
I think the new
Yeah.
season's coming out soon, by the way.
Well, speaking of documentaries, I think Arsenal should start documenting their second place forever documentary
Oh,
because
Lord.
that's what it looks like it's going to be this season.
Well, I heard they might not even get second.
No, maybe they won't even get a
better.
second.
Even better.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Arsenal, losing all the wheels at the end of the season, PSG Arsenal.
I mean,
What do you guys think?
all I gotta say is it should have been more than one goal.
In the direction of PSG or just kind of both ways?
Course, in the direction of PSG. Fuck Arsenal. Why is your tongue out, man? What are you?
No, I'm just chapping my lips, man. Why are you looking at my tongue?
Why-
Weirdo. No,
Yo,
just-
Hassan, yo, keep talking. Let's looking.
you start talking about PSG, start looking at my tongue. What the fuck?
Hey, you happy with he's like he's doing this. That's all he's doing next to the mic.
Yo, why
I
don't
will
you
say-
talk about the game and stop looking at me?
I will say that I was actually fairly surprised that PSG had so much control in the first half, especially like the first 30 minutes. Like absolute control. Like Arsenal couldn't get out of their half. You know, the goal on the 4th minute by Dembele, that was kind of a scuff, but that was a beautiful hit.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Honestly, I expected more from PSG. Like they had the control of the ball, but they didn't really take the game by the scruff of the neck. We know how they could play. We know how they could dominate and shut you out and keep you in your box. That wasn't the vintage PSG that I was hoping for. And again, they got the result. They got the 1-0 scoreline.
Also, away from home. I think it's also important to say away from home.
Yeah, they're gonna get better, but you're right though. Away from home, it's different in the Champions League. But I think I was a little disappointed with PSG. I expected more from them. And
Well,
Arsenal, I don't even want to talk about Arsenal honestly.
No, but okay, but I know pretty much what everyone's gonna say. But just for the audience, maybe was that a penalty by Timber or no?
Oh yeah,
Oh
dude,
yeah,
the guy like grabbed him by the by his waist, like
Yo,
took him for a little.
How
Yeah,
that
look
wasn't
at it.
caught by the ref? How did nobody say, "Hey, just go look at the monitor"? Is fucking beyond me.
They
This
didn't
is
even look at it. That's
because
what worries me.
the VAR is a bunch of donkeys sitting there sipping on tea and not looking at the fucking screens half the time. The ref tells
Well-
him, "Oh, did you see anything? Oh, wasn't watching." The guy's on DoorDash ordering his fucking lunch right there.
You know,
He's not
Alex,
even watching the screens.
it's funny you bring up donkeys. Did you see Arsenal's Champions League semifinal tifo
Oh yeah.
compared to what the rest of Europe has
I
to
mean,
offer?
talk about
They just-
support.
Just have one flag.
Listen,
that's like lopsided.
Hassan, this is new territory for Arsenal. They don't get here that often, so they weren't prepared.
Bro, the camera tried to zoom out into their tifo and then it zoomed right back in. There's nothing there.
Skip that part. Bro, I've seen better tifos in like Germany 4th division, honestly.
It's true.
Really.
But just one more
Champions
thing on the
League
penalty.
semifinal?
That's
go
what I'm
ahead.
saying.
That's true. Yeah. But one more thing on the
Alright, go
penalty
ahead,
is
go ahead.
you take out 3 guys, and okay, Julian Timber puts his arm across you. You go down, and people say, "Oh, you went down soft." Why would you like if you're Kvaratskhelia, why would you dive at that point? You have a one-on-one with the keeper. You took out 3 defenders. All you have to do is curl the ball or shoot near post. You don't fall down if there's no contact.
Well, yeah. I think that's what I said. What bothers me is that they didn't even look at it. If they looked at it again and they're like, it's soft, whatever, VAR, no pen, that's a different story.
Yeah, but how even like the VAR don't say, "Hey, ref, just pause the game, go take a look." That's I think
Apparently,
that's
like Alex said, they were too busy ordering DoorDash from fucking O'Reilly's, wherever the fuck they have in North London.
It's ridiculous because I mean we saw that from multiple angles, and the ref was standing right across, staring at the
Yeah.
contact as it happened. The guy clearly puts his arm out. He holds him back. He doesn't look like he puts it out and then clearly pulls it back right away. He holds him there. He stops Kvaratskhelia from going through, and then the ref's like, "Oh, nothing happened." And then VAR, I don't know what they were smoking in there, like what kind of shisha service they got, but clearly they're not watching the same game we're watching because. That's
no, they got the
100%
hashish
penalty.
service in there apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it was clearly smoky in that room because they didn't notice anything on the screen.
Yeah, the
I don't
screen
know
got
what the fuck that was.
It's foggy.
It's very foggy in there.
Hotboxing the VAR room.
Boxing the VAR.
What do you
It
guys
wasn't
think about the
420, but it
second
was-
leg? What do you think? PSG is gonna score more? I don't think Arsenal's coming back.
Well,
They
hold
have
on.
no form of
Just
attack.
before we wrap up, this game, the other thing to kind of mention in the game is it wasn't like, yeah, there should have been more goals, but Arsenal had chances. PSG, especially Hakimi, got caught out a bunch of times playing right wing, and Arsenal did find the half spaces between the center backs and the fullbacks.
And
So that is something for PSG to look out for,
Well,
because
yeah, apparently Martinelli had a good game. That's about it.
I
yeah,
will
pretty
say
much.
Arsenal's offensive line in this game looked much better than the previous games. Like
Hmm.
what they had in terms of personnel, they had some chances. Like it's not like they
Yeah.
didn't have chances, but to say that Arsenal deserves to come out on top in this game, I wouldn't say that.
No, they should.
It's
Yeah.
going to take a hell lot of an effort from them in the
They should have
second half.
buried them.
Get
PSG
anything.
should have buried them at home.
You know who else I'm gonna kind of give the opposite of credits to? Odegaard fell off, and Arsenal fans are hyping this guy up. Oh, he's this. He didn't do jack shit the entire. Actually, for the last couple games, I felt like his presence wasn't even there. I saw Vitinha on the ball. I saw João Neves winning the ball. I saw Fabian dominating the midfield. I did see Rice, but then it's like you look at the other guys, and like Odegaard was nowhere. He maybe gave like one pass back to Saka or one sideways pass, and that's
I
it.
was gonna get to that. This is what Odegaard does. He gets the ball, he passes to Saka, and then he waits.
I will say
Yeah.
this: if I see one more comparison of Odegaard with Bruno Fernandes, I'm gonna slap somebody. There's no fucking way this should be in the same conversation ever. I've seen some discussions like, "Oh, Odegaard's top notch." Bruno should be like, "What? Who in the right mind compares Odegaard and Bruno? One guy is literally carrying a shit team on his fucking back. The other guy's out there in foggy rooms looking for God knows what. I don't know why these guys are in the same conversation. They shouldn't be. These are two different players. One is an impact player, and one is impacted by everything that hits him. Like clearly, these guys are not on the same level. So I don't know what kind of Arsenal fans spun this conversation, but please end it. I don't want to see Odegaard and Bruno or any decent playmaker in the same conversation ever again. Please.
If you want to talk about Arsenal fans spinning shit, Saka is the best winger in the world.
Just like Arsenal put out the best tifo in the world, right?
Yeah. But again, just overall in the balance of the game, this tie is not done. And what we saw from the first game, both teams still have a relatively good chance to go through. Now, the one thing I will say, though, I'm kind of disappointed by the other chances that PSG missed right at the end. Barcola dragging it wide when he had the opportunity, and then Gonzalo Ramos hitting the post. Why the fuck did he toe poke it? I don't understand.
Yeah. Something to note too, PSG lost both their League On games in between the Champions League ties. So
I did look into that. They rotated heavy.
I know, but
no. The one game against Nice, that was like goalkeeping masterclass from Bulka. Yeah. But this one against Strasbourg, I believe, they literally played the whole second team. So
I get that, but mentally, like some of the main players were there. I saw Desiree Doué come on playing against his brother, by the way, who they played together at Stade Rennais. Oh. So that was interesting to see him come up against his older brother. I get it; they rotated heavily, but there's still guys in that team who played. I know it may not matter a lot, but like it still sits in the back of your mind. Like those losses. Like even if you come on only for 45 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, you could have changed the game and you didn't. So when you come on,
but do you think so? Like when you already won the title, that's the thing. Does it really bother you to lose a game?
I think in the overall scheme of things doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. Mm-hmm. But as a player, something's going to be in the back of your mind.
You know what? PSG don't have to worry because Arsenal lost anyways. Even playing. So you know what? Even ground.
Yeah, you might as well say that. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Well, now moving from that game to probably game of the season, if not more.
Yeah. The one that you didn't watch?
The one that I couldn't watch because I watched maybe like the last 10 minutes.
Okay, maybe stop sharing your account with your other people.
Don't worry. Listen, man, that's how we do things. These subscription costs are out of control. So, but
the power.
I could watch it illegally.
Okay. Anyways.
Well, we don't condone watching streams illegally.
Says the guy buying Chinese shirts.
I have in the past. I don't anymore.
Hassan.
Anyways, in terms of the game itself, I mean, you guys could talk about it more. I watched, I caught up on all the extended highlights and stuff, but maybe let's start off with that absolute fucking wonder goal, back heel from Thuram.
Oh yeah, dude. I was fortunate enough to watch the entirety of the game, not being distracted by anything, which was beautiful. The first 30 seconds, they start off. It was a long ball. The minute that long ball went across to the far side, I look at the spaces in the Barca backline, and we talked about this before. What on earth do they do in training? The entire backline, like what the fuck? Like you just watch the spaces. Like what are these guys doing in training?
This is what they do. They don't train for that. They just try to attack. Their goal is to play in the opposite half. They don't want to play in their own half. That's training.
This reminds me of a little bit of was it the Liverpool season from 17-18 when they like just flipped the switch? Like what's a defense?
Switch, yeah. That's what it felt like because they went 2-0 down and they flipped the switch. But yeah, I mean, you see some of the space in the back, and we know Hansi Flick's gonna die by the
high line.
Yeah, we know he's gonna die. He's not gonna change. He only has one way. It's forward. That's never gonna change. I understand that, but please, 30 seconds into the game in the Champions League semifinal, what are you doing? Why is everyone out of position? They just kicked off. Why is everyone out of position? I don't get that.
Well, it was interesting that you mentioned that. Defensively, Barca's been a bunch of shambles all year. Their goal is to outscore teams. That's how again. It's very basis of football.
I understand that part, but you're 30 seconds into the game. Where are you going?
You're like your defense should be in the defensive position.
Inter didn't score for like 3 games, and they had it all build up their eyeballs. They had to release somewhere.
You talk about something else right now. And again, I get how Barca play. I understand that, but this early in the game, you should not be that wide open. Like it's fun for the fans to watch. Like,
if you look at it, they got the ball first. They just had a bad clearance. Kunde hit the ball out to like Dumfries, and he just crossed it in.
No, what about the finish though?
No, not Kunde. Just talk about that first diagonal ball that interplay.
The first diagonal ball was intercepted, and then Kunde fucking threw it somewhere else.
That's what, because they had a little bit.
That came in the box.
It wasn't a direct cross. It was like they tried to hit it in, like it bounced off. They picked it up again, and it was like a recycled ball.
Yeah.
No. You're talking about the final end of the phase of the play.
Oh, you're talking about just like the long ball they threw in the beginning?
The diagonal across the midfield where that play started. The whole team was all over the place. We could watch that again. That whole play, that ball shouldn't have come across in the first. That was like 15 seconds. That wasn't even 30 seconds. 30 seconds with them scoring the goal after the clearance.
It kind of spells the game for the rest of the game. They scored. They conceded 2 other corners. So
and that second goal, the Hakimi overhead.
Hakimi.
Crazy. Yeah, Hakimi overhead. The second goal.
Hakimi.
Yeah.
Hakimi overhead for the second goal.
Who scored the second goal? Oh, dump truck. Yeah.
Is this the guy that I watched the game without any
I don't know what game you're watching.
Well, I'm thinking about lateral guys, not whatever. You know what I mean?
They're completely 2 different players.
Yeah.
Physically, aesthetically.
I mean, Hakimi's Dutch, right? He pretty much is.
Hakimi's Dutch. I mean, I don't know how EU citizenship works.
He's
Let me not say that because some guy's gonna correct me.
No, Dumfries is Dutch.
But yeah, Barca defending. I
don't want to have that fact police come out online and come after me again. So let me not say that. Dumfries is definitely not Dutch.
No, Dumfries is Dutch.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways,
I was gonna say
Dumfries scored that goal.
Yes, he scored a great goal. And Barca at least this season, they're shit defending set pieces. That's their ratio. And Inter got 2 goals in like that. They got a bunch of big center backs and apparently wing backs that can win a header. But let's talk about the positives of how they responded and the way they came back from a 2-0 deficit like that.
Yo, Hassan, you should work for Dunkin' Donuts, fucking glazing Barcelona.
Positive for who? I'm not a Barca fan. I'm not
No,
positive
no, no.
about
I'm
it.
saying Hassan needs to work for Dunkin' Donuts because he's glazing Barcelona.
All I gotta say is, Inter conceded, I think, 5 goals in 12 games. Whatever, all of the Champions League,
Mhm.
they conceded 3 in this one game. So,
Yeah.
listen,
I mean, you know what? I
it's
think
field
it's
goals.
kind of he's definitely not under the radar, but definitely deserves more credit. Ferran Torres, man, like actually
Oh yeah.
getting up and actually scoring the crucial goals in the crucial moments. Like, okay, first of all, let's talk about the Lamine goal.
Oh, I was gonna save that for last.
What is the first goal, man?
We're going in order of how it happened. He's right.
Well, I was gonna talk
Yeah.
about him as a player and what he's been
I
achieving.
don't listen.
Say it.
No, what do you want me to say?
No, you were gonna say something.
Oh no, I thought I was just following Edgar's order of goals. Like, we went through
Yeah, so well,
we went
let's
through
go like
Thuram's
this.
goal.
Lamine Yamal takes the ball from the wing, dribbles past 3 guys, runs into traffic, still manages to curl an absolute fucking beauty off the post.
Does that remind you of somebody, Edgar?
No.
I'm gonna say, you know what? Listen,
Not at
before we
all.
even finish the conversation, I will say this: if Lamine Yamal, let's say, if this season he ends up with a treble, because they pretty much won La Liga, they won Copa del Rey, and let's say they would do win the Champions League. If Lamine Yamal was to retire at the age of 17, he would have a better career than 95% of footballers to have ever played.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Listen, he has over 100 appearances for Barcelona. I think like 20 something goals and like 20 something assists, somewhere in that range.
30 something assists. It's like 34, 35.
So he's gonna have like maybe like 60 something, like 60 goal contributions. Let's just say rough number. So 100 appearances, 60 goal contributions, and international trophy and a treble before the age of 18. Wild.
Wow. And apparently his girlfriend left him.
How old is he again?
17.
Yo, this guy only watches the TMZ version of whatever we watch.
No, I was gonna say
Hassan knows information none of us know.
this kid. Well, I'll call him a man because he's playing better than half of the men out there. So he is a man, and you have to be realistic about what he's doing on the pitch, and you have to stop saying that he's 17. Get rid of that narrative.
No. I'm not saying 17 is like a bad thing. I'm just saying it's such a.
I know it's a young age.
It's not a narrative.
No, there is. Oh, 17-year-old. No, you have to understand what he's doing as a player, and you got to take away that he's 17. Even if that was a 20, 22, 23-year-old, this kid is the best player on the planet.
Yeah, I don't think 17 is subtracting for a reason. I think it's increasing in what he's doing.
It sounds like that if he wasn't 17, it's a little bit.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think if any player was doing this at any age, it would be fantastic. But him doing it at such a young age is even a bigger compliment to him.
But it's a compliment. I'm just saying that there's media out there that's trying to take that away from him. You can't take away from the player what he's doing on the pitch just because he's 17.
No, I haven't heard anything like that.
Anything away? Yeah, Hassan. Well, we're not taking away. We're saying the opposite. We're impressed by how far he's come at the age of 17. This has never been we've never seen this before. Now with Messi,
bro, this is like Ronaldo Nazario type performances at a young age.
Yeah, that we're giving him credit for what he's accomplished at 17. It's the opposite. If we take away the number, he just becomes an average player. Like, oh, this guy's great. This guy's one of the greats. But what he's done at 17. His ceiling is so much higher than anyone ever imagined.
Even if you took, let's say, 50% of his goal contributions away from him, for 17, he would be a fucking phenomenon. But considering what he has done, I mean, honestly, again, best winger in the world, you could kind of throw that around pretty easily, but he's up there.
I don't think he's anybody better. I don't think.
No, I mean, realistically speaking. Ninja Turtle was trying to be the best winger, and guess where he is? Sitting at home.
What about Anthony? You see the goal he scored?
Oh,
Come on.
Listen,
we're talking about the world. You can't get out of this world.
This is the same country. It's not even the world.
Listen, you know how they're saying Messi's an alien? So is Anthony.
Anthony invented aliens.
He's the higher being.
Exactly. Yeah. This Anthony's a different conversation. Like Lamine Yamal, fantastic. Anthony, he is it.
He's him.
He took over the GOAT debate.
He anyways.
Well, I mean, continue on from that fantastic goal. I think a couple minutes later it was a Ferran Torres, a great cushion header by Rafinha, and basically a direct tap in for Ferran Torres, 2-2.
Listen, you got to be there, like you saying. You got to give the guy credit for being there to put it in.
Yeah,
you got to
honestly,
make
but I was surprised how you don't think of Inter as a team to really concede those type of chances, like really, really easy chances. Like Rafinha's not that tall, and he's picking up a cushion header on the side when especially you play with three center backs.
Yeah,
that was a little bit of un-Inter like.
Yeah, I mean Inter
was conceding 3 goals, regardless of how they scored.
I think we've talked about it. Inter's been a little rattled lately with how they've been playing, and I think while they were off to a great start, you could definitely tell that they got taken back by Barca getting into the game early, getting back into the game so early. And you're right, it didn't feel like the Inter that we know, but honestly, I don't mind this Inter because they went toe-to-toe with Barca, and that's amazing. And that's what you want to see. You don't want to just sit back and be in their shell.
As a neutral, that was such a great game. You can hate on Barca, you can hate on whatever, but as a semifinal, it wasn't one of those games where a team sat back and you're like, oh, we're waiting for the second leg or whatever. Both teams were going at each other. And honestly, DeMarco missed a chance in the first half where he all he had to do was just put it on the side. He roofed it. Inter could have had 5-6 goals in this game.
So could have Barca that, but let's continue on. I think so. We're like 20-something minutes in. We're already at 2-2.
Yeah.
So this is already a fantastic game. Now, in terms of the mid game, I know that there was a little bit of a slowdown, but it did feel like Inter lost their kind of momentum from the beginning, and they kind of started conceding chances to Barca.
Also, they started sitting back. They saw it was 2-2. They're like, okay, let's take their goal at least. I don't know. I wasn't part of the Inter coaching strategy, but I would assume their goal is to take it back to the San Siro 2-2, and go from there. And obviously, their narrative, the game. Continue on. This
well, I mean, game. On the theme of Barca doing pretty shit off of set pieces, another set piece and another goal by Denzel Dumfries.
Listen, man of the match, by the way. Man of the match.
Is it even worth to talk about Barca's defense anymore?
No. Honestly, this point's really a lost cause.
Why do you think I didn't talk about it? It doesn't matter. They're going to concede goal. It's a given.
But then I think right after that, you had the third goal, which was the absolute fucking screamer.
Right off a set piece, a set play. And then sadly, it was given as an own goal because it came off a goalie. But
it did technically bounce back off the post. Like if the keeper wasn't there, it wouldn't have went in. It would have just bounced off.
But what a hit by Rafinha! Also, another man that's been having a year, himself. And we've talked about him before. He's arguably up there, top 3 players in the world of what they're contributing.
I mean, if you're talking about the Ballon d'Or, he took over for the other Brazilian guy.
I don't care about the Ballon d'Or. I don't know. It's just a fucking popular.
I know. Ballon d'Or is a worthless measure, but considering you're a Barca fan, you kind of use that argument quite a lot of times.
Well, only for one man.
It only matters if it's Messi. If it's not Messi, Ballon d'Or doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter.
And just for you, Hassan, we're not going to mention Rafinha's age because I know you get bothered by us mentioning people's age. So we're just going to glance over how old he is.
Well, and then I think we get to one of the first controversial moments of the game at 3-3. We have Inter scoring the fourth.
Honestly,
but it got ruled out.
We could have the rest of the podcast just talking about that one goal. That wasn't a goal. I mean, and we had a sidebar discussion before this call. It's he can make 2.
It's like
by the letter of the law, it's right.
Letter of the law, the call was right. It was an offside. By the spirit of the game, that's absolute fucking horseshit. Let the goal stand.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You couldn't have said it better.
Because honestly, at some point, maybe they'll look into offside laws later. But at this point, I think Barca lucked out that this wasn't a goal. But moving on to another big chance, kind of a weird one, but Lamine Yamal again hitting some kind of weird scoop shot and hitting the crossbar.
I think he tried to cross it, and then it kind of like went the other way. It kind of went on to target. It's
Yeah,
people like, oh, he actually, which
no.
have.
I mean, I really doubt that was an actual chip attempt, but I thought it was maybe like a cross that was just Miss Rafinha was going it towards the goal side.
Yeah,
but that could have been a 4-4.
Is that what you're watching?
All I gotta say is Juve merda. No, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. That shot by Lamine Yamal, that was a weird one because he didn't know where that was going, but then somehow landed on the crossbar.
Bro, he's just a confident 17-year-old.
Wait, Alex, did Orsolini score?
No, it's our Atalanta favorite, Freuler.
Oh, okay.
Is Orsolini in the game?
Bro, he's never out of the game.
Oh.
Well, I guess that game.
Always in the game.
That's true. I mean,
carry on with the narration.
Go. I mean, at that point, honestly, at 3-3, it was like 80-something minute. At that point, it was kind of a few swings for Inter, a few swings for Barcelona, but I don't think there was anything really more to mention in terms of the.
It really calmed down at the end. Both teams saw that okay, let's not try to damage each other more, or at least that's what I saw.
Yeah, but because I think both teams were scared to concede. Inter knew that if they came out of their shell, they might concede to Barcelona, and Barcelona thought if we keep squeezing Inter, they could just send a long ball.
Barcelona ended up playing with 4 center backs towards the end because
you know what? I will say that is very interesting because usually you never see defensive substitutions by Hansi Flick. So you definitely saw that he maybe he wasn't rattled per se, but
we talked about this left back, Gerard Martin, whatever he is, he got cooked. He got cooked on that side, and then I think Koundé got injured, so it was a tough break.
That's true. Well, I mean, after that, game ended, and now we're looking forward to next week.
I gotta say, from a neutral standpoint, Inter got to be tighter at home. You cannot let 3 goals in. I don't care what team it is.
But knowing what happened against Bayern Munich, I actually think something is going on with Inter right now. Like, they don't have the same defensive stability. They're conceding chances. Because if Bayern Munich can put 2 and technically maybe even more against Inter in San Siro, Barcelona can definitely score 3-4.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Again,
there's one more thing I think important to mention about back to the kind of the PSG thing. Maybe us looking into the next.
Going back to PSG, I thought we were done.
No. Just give me a second. We're looking towards the next week. So Hassan, you're still gonna stick by Barcelona going through?
Yeah, man.
What is this fake fan? Alex, what do you think? Is still Barcelona?
Well, Marseille's playing a good game right now, so I just want to say
this guy's trying to like stream like 4 games.
I'm watching my Champions League battles, but you talk about Barca Inter?
No, I'm saying like, what do you think like for next week? You still think Barcelona going through, or?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I think Inter at San Siro. Inter at San Siro is giving me vibes of Jose Mourinho in 2010.
Nah,
and I really want to bring back those memories. I really do. I think it'll be fun.
How old were you? Were you 17 when that happened?
I was old enough to old enough to be Orsolini.
I will say
I want to see Inter in the Champions League final. I think it'll be fun if we have an Inter PSG Champions League final. That would be a spectacle too. Listen, I know everyone at this point sees Barca PSG in the final, and there's nothing wrong with either of those teams, but I wouldn't write off Inter right now, especially second leg at home. I wouldn't write them off.
I wouldn't write them off, but I think Lewandowski is coming back, and if hopefully Balde fucking comes back.
Wait, so what about Koundé? Is he out, or is Koundé coming?
He has like some kind of muscle injury. I don't think he'll be back in time.
That's a big miss.
He's our best player.
He's your best defender.
He's your only defender.
Because
That
what
too.
you have? What Inigo Martinez and then
He's
Kubarsi? That's your
actually
center
pretty
back.
good. You know,
No,
for
no,
what
no, no,
it's
no.
worth.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that as like a put down. Inigo Martinez
No.
actually had a
I'm
fantastic
gonna tell
season
you
for
this.
Barcelona.
Besides the 3 goals that they conceded off, whatever, but rest of the game, if you look at it, that line, you know how many passes he cut out that Mkhitaryan and Chernalu
Yeah,
tried to put
I
through?
know. Yeah, no,
So,
he actually has a good season. Like he's been surprisingly one of the best players defensively for Barcelona. But let's go maybe just touch on the PSG thing. Dembele might be out.
wait, what happened?
He got injured in the game against Arsenal.
Are you
Oh, come
surprised
on.
that Dembele's injured?
Come on, he has such
Oh,
a
no,
good
yeah.
year too.
Literally, this guy's Dambulance. Come on.
Nah, he had a good year. Don't do that. Don't tell my guy Dambulance. Come on. This is probably his best year in his career, and you guys want to shit on him.
I don't shit, but he got injured. So.
I'm not kidding. I just want to confirm for that second leg, is Hakimi playing for Inter? Is he going to be lining up?
Oh, is Hakimi playing for? Yeah, Hakimi's. Hakimi did play for Inter Milan, so it's not
A
like.
few years back.
Listen, that's where the confusion comes from.
There
Yeah.
you go. All right. Well, so we all still sticking before PSG.
I want to.
Yeah, I don't think there's any change there. I do want to talk about Europa League semis because I think battle for Champions League there too. Would you guys?
Okay. Oh.
what do you guys think about those
No,
games?
Harry Maguire. Why don't you tell me that cross he had, man? Oh my God! You talk about Anthony? Talk about
Heraldinho?
Yamal?
Heraldinho.
Oh my God! What a
You know what's funny? Harry Maguire had a better stint at winger in 15 seconds, and I think like most wingers.
Anthony at
So
United.
Eddie.
You know, have you ever wondered that he's playing the wrong position?
Many times. Listen, for what it's worth, jokes aside, he'll be a good center forward. He will be a really good center forward because he's got he could hold up the ball. He's
Yeah.
good in the air. What else do you need as a number 9?
He can shoot with the left and right foot.
Shoot with the right.
Bro,
left,
he's slaphead, man. He got it.
They should swap him out for Hoyland or
wherever else you have in United.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, honestly. But
I mean, if you're talking about the ties, Bodo Glint, unfortunately took a loss.
Yeah.
To be fair, like I saw the highlights. I don't know what they dropped their pants against Tottenham of all teams, man. Dude, North London fucking sucks. You're losing to Tottenham.
2 goals down, going back to Norway. It's not over.
It's doable. They can't come back.
Gonna happen. Tottenham's gonna fly into Norway. Their flight's gonna get lost in the green lights, and they're gonna go into their cabins, and then these Norwegians gonna feed them some sharks.
What? Sharks?
They eat shark over there. You didn't know that?
They eat shark in Norway?
Yeah.
You have
Icelandic countries.
I mean, that's news to me, but all right. Well, nobody warned Daniel Levy and the Tottenham team.
I don't think Daniel Levy is going to Norway at all.
That's true. I guess the other tie that we had in the Europa League was Man United somehow winning
Handsomely too. That was
winning. I mean, to be fair, was that a red card? Was that a red card?
Listen, last man challenge. He didn't challenge for the
ball.
No,
but usually I thought that if it's and I now understood the actual difference. But I thought that if you're a last man and it's like you don't do double jeopardy, you don't get a red card and give away a penalty. But because he made no attempt to play the ball, that makes it not a challenge and escape the double jeopardy clause.
I think the double jeopardy is if you have an attempt at a ball and you like try to make a last dish challenge where you miss it. But the guy didn't even look at the ball. He just grabbed the guy by the freaking. It was like the Arsenal thing where he like pulled him back. But he actually got the penalty this time.
The referees
you know what it reminds me of? Yeah, Chiellini versus Saka in the Euro finals.
Oh yeah, but that was like in the midfield.
Saka's a little kid. That was a grown man challenge. Come on, man.
He just bullied a little kid.
Yeah, come on. What is he doing over there?
Chiellini got issues. You know that thing with his tongue when he goes like.
Well, is that why you were doing it?
That's what Orsolini was doing. That's what he's doing to Juve right now.
All right. Well, I mean, at this point, since we talked about Europa League, you want to just mention Conference League? The Aura God himself, Anthony, scoring an absolute screamer.
Conference League is nowhere near Champions League, so there's no point.
Honestly, we did a mercy talk talking about Europa League.
That's true.
We talk about Europa League because the winner is going into Champions League. the winner of Conference League is going to Norway. That's what we don't talk about.
You're gonna be eating shark in the cabin.
Yeah.
Well, I think on that
You know
note,
how Norway is such a beautiful destination to take your girl and have a good time, to watch the Northern Lights.
Unless
Hassan,
you're a Tottenham fan.
Hassan, you need a girl in the first place.
I was talking about. Ah, man, you just fucked it up. Why would you just ruin it? Why would you ruin it? But
Well, where are you going with that? Where are you going?
I was
going
to talk about Tottenham fans. You know.
Listen,
so what are Tottenham fans gonna
Listen,
do in Norway?
we're trying to keep the plastic pollution out of the countries, not bring more in. Get those bottle jobs back to London.
There's a lot of bottle jobs in London.
Remember Harry from the train?
Harry.
There's a Harry from Tottenham.
Harry from Tottenham?
You remember Harry from Tottenham? The one that plays football?
Oh, well.
Speaking of Harry from Tottenham, they were winning at Leipzig 3-2
Yeah.
yesterday. They're about to wrap up the Bundesliga. It came down to the touchline. They conceded a last-minute goal and they didn't win.
Harry doesn't have his moment yet.
Bro, this man is allergic to trophies.
He
No,
really
he's gonna
is.
get the cannon though. He's gonna get the cannon.
What about that cannon that was on a tifo?
That was the worst display of a tifo that I ever saw.
Yo, let's talk about it for last minute. Who greenlit that idea of a tifo? Like, what the fuck? That was
Yo.
like a. That wasn't
think
even
it's-
apparently, like the Arsenal fans suggested a different tifo, and then like somehow the Arsenal themselves got involved and no, like
Yeah.
this is the tifo.
No, because Arsenal's, aren't they owned by a bunch of Americans?
Yeah. Wait, doesn't the guy own was it the Dodger? No, the Rams.
Red Sox?
I thought that was.
They have
Chelsea.
American owners.
Let me see.
There's some guy who owns like something in LA, and then he owned. Now he owns Arsenal
I thought
too.
that was Chelsea.
Todd Bowley?
So the guy,
Yeah.
the fans probably called the owner and they're like, "What the fuck is the tifo? What do you need that for?"
Yeah, what's a tifo, man?
Oh, it's Stan
Yeah.
Kroenke.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sam
the
Kroenke.
Kroenkes,
He
the
owns
Kroenkes family.
he owns some kind of LA team. I think like the Dodgers or
Oh, LA Rams. LA Rams. The
the
football
yeah
team.
the Rams. Okay, yeah.
Well, now we know where the tifo came from.
the team got rammed in LA. Anyways,
All right.
I think it was,
Actually, one side note: you should pursue a career in narration. The way you just
Oh
perfectly narrated that game to us.
well, I'll offer my services on like a $5 or something.
you don't give me a hand job. You
Yeah, I know, right?
Sir, how do your balls feel in my hand? Do you like the movement? Do you like the temperature? Would you like a little oyster with that?
Is that the kind of services you provide on Fiverr?
Well, that's what you were doing to him just now.
Well, again, join the other podcast if you need it. Then on that note, I think we're ready to sign off. Gentlemen, any lasting words?
No, I think we did enough.
All right, that's enough damage for today.
Comment, like,
Signed off.
subscribe.
Yeah, thank you all.
Take care.
Eat that Norwegian shark.
Yeah,
Go see some.
take your girl to Norway if you need it.
See some Northern Lights.
And not only lights.